was reading a thing about how they are going to be opening Cleveland City pools, but they don't have enough lifeguards to make sure that all the deep ends are open. So it's just going to be people in the shallow end. I don't know. It's true. The city has increased lifeguard pay to $15 an hour. Try to get more kids. See, it's tough. Even out where I live, you know, there's a giant pool out where I live, and they have a hard time keeping it staffed. Because kids are like, I got to go to my other job. I can be hanging out here all day long.
My pool is swim at your own risk.
Yeah.
Oh.
Did you dunk before the show today?
I did.
Because it's hot out there, isn't it?
It was like 73 when I went out there, which is not crazy.
That's not pool weather.
But the pool's heated, so it was all right.
Oh, it is?
Yeah.
Oh, look at this guy, Mary. Heated pool.
Now it's 79. It'd be
Yeah,
real nice
right.
to be out there now.
It's going to be 85 tomorrow.
Yeah, I'll go out
Now,
before.
will you get back in after the show today?
No, because I have to go and do the
the funny bus. Oh,
and
that's
then I
right.
have to go to East End. So
Right.
not enough time in the day, Alan. Not enough time in the day.
Many things to do.
Mm-hmm.
Right. All
But
right.
tomorrow, before the show, I'll probably dip again, and then probably again on Friday, and again on Saturday, and again on Sunday.
All right.
'Cause why not?
Yeah, why not, man?
It's nice. And it's going to be nice all those days.
Sunday's Father's Day. Will you be, do you engage in anything for Father's Day?
I got him something, but I don't know if I'm going to.
I meant for you as a father.
Oh, me? I don't
Yeah.
know. That's up to the kids.
All right.
They want to do something.
What'd you get your dad?
It's a book that you fill out. It's got prompts in it, so he can tell me some stories about his life.
Is this a Storyworth thing?
What?
Is it called Storyworth?
Let me see what it's called.
I did that for my mom. It's like a year's worth of questions.
Yeah, it's something like that. I think. Let me see what it's actually.
And then at the end, you make a book. You put some photos in it, and then you have a book dictated by the person.
That's kind of cool.
Yeah, Gwen did it for her dad a couple years ago. I'm like, that's a great idea.
Yeah,
I did it for my mom.
It's just called Dad, I Want to Hear Your Story.
There
the
you
one
go.
that I got.
Right.
So give that
now,
to
how
him.
many chapters do you think will be about him bullying you?
Oh, probably the most of them. No,
He
because
didn't
he
bully
doesn't.
you.
He's not gonna notice.
No,
it.
I know.
Yeah.
It was passive,
Yeah,
not active.
yeah.
I understand.
So I'm give him this and see what he does. Hopefully he fills it out.
Yeah. Well, I have once more left my wife in the lurch with respect to gift ideas. She's like, what can I get you for? I go, I don't need anything. Have Nora draw me a card or something. You know, I'm like, I don't need anything.
I'm gonna be coming back from New York, Western New York. I'm sorry. Yesterday I said upstate New York, Western New York.
Salamanca.
Yeah. So I'll be coming back from New York. So
Was that people from Salamanca getting mad or people upstate getting mad?
no one got mad. They just
Devotion to accuracy.
Yeah, exactly.
I see.
Yeah. They didn't get mad.
I thought maybe the native Salamancans got their hackles all up.
I'm not sure.
Oh.
I just said upstate, and because I always think of when I go to that area. When I was a kid, we'd always go to Ithaca.
Yep.
And that's upstate.
Right.
But it's still Western. So
Mm-hmm.
it's a little of both.
A little something for everybody.
Mm-hmm.
That's up where Cornell is up in Ithaca.
Correct.
Yeah. Yeah, so Cleveland public pools will be open because last year people were complaining that the hours were all over the place. You'd go to a public pool and there wouldn't be anybody there. And they were like, well, we don't have enough people. But that lifeguard situation hasn't changed really. But they're like, all right, pools are going to be open, but you got to stay on this end. In L.A., lifeguards are paid $31 an hour. In Detroit, they had to close the beaches due to lack of help over Memorial Day. And so who knows what the Cleveland public pools will look like this summer. And now they'll even pay you while you're training. How about that? But there's a lot of practice that goes into that. So noon to 8 Wednesday through Sunday. That's your standard public pool schedule. Deep ends will be off limits this pool season.
What constitutes a deep end, though? Is that
Well,
like
probably
5
when it goes.
feet
Probably
or
when
like
it goes.
diving board?
Well, no, probably when
When
it goes
slam.
from 5 to 8 feet.
Yeah.
You know, where it
Yeah.
starts to dip there. They'll probably have it cordoned off, right? They'll have
Yeah.
a thing there that don't go past this.
And they'll probably not be able to enforce it.
That's
They
what
don't
I'm
have the
saying.
people to.
That's what I'm saying. Like, how are they gonna?
Hey, knock it off.
Hey, get out of there!
Yo. no.
I mean, if somebody's there, obviously, yeah, they could dive in and grab somebody, but it's the ones that aren't staffed. That's why they're shutting the deep ends off. Swimmers can swim only at 45-minute intervals to, quote, maximize customer usage. Yeah, at our pool, there's like once an hour, all the kids got to get out so the adults can get in there and dick around.
Right, but this sounds like they're saying they kick you out totally after 45 minutes for
Again,
maximum usage?
I don't know how they're going to enforce that either. You must
can't do
leave and
that.
they must leave and return to continue swimming.
No way.
Oh, there's
Insane.
nothing more fun than a summer afternoon on a pool schedule. But what are they going to do? They're running city public pools. They got to do something. It can't be a free-for-all. That's how people get hurt and the city gets sued and people complain.
Mm-hmm.
Even though technically it's all at your own risk. There's a sign right there. And it's pretty exhaustive with the rules. Hey, no pooping in the pool. It's a list of, we can't believe we have to tell you this, but here's what it is. Don't poop in the pool. Don't pee in the pool. You know, it's like you go to somebody's house. They've got that sign.
The ool.
The ool. Please notice there's no pee in our
this
pool.
We'd like to keep it that way.
Yes. Welcome to our ool. A little play on words, Mary.
I get it.
Yeah. Ithaca is considered central New York. All right. Albany's upstate. Let's just, right? Buffalo, Albany, whatever. I'm living here. What do you want? You can solve the whole problem by filling the pool with only 18 inches of water.
There you go.
Yeah, but then you still have the problem that most people drown in a few inches of water. So do you want to take that responsibility on, sir or madam?
I don't think it's that most people drown. I think you just
Most.
can drown
Most.
in a few inches of water.
Yes, you're right. You can physically drown in a few inches of water. Most people probably do drown in deeper water than that. But even that, they're like, hey, you've seen this, most shark attacks happen in just a few inches of water. When you see those dead, like a doll's eyes, dead eyes, like a doll's eyes, up above the water, that's how you know you got trouble. And it ain't just Florida. Obviously, they're dealing with a lot of shark attacks down there, but we were on the Jersey Shore a couple summers ago. You could see the sharks. And wouldn't you know it, I hadn't packed my harpoon gun when we drove to Jersey. And so everybody's looking at me. Slow clap. Thanks a lot, Alan. I go, this is New Jersey. I didn't know there were going to be sharks along the shore. Like all these people that live here, nobody's got a backup harpoon. Had to be me.
It's your job, dude.
They didn't tell me it was my job. Nobody informed me. They go, well, we heard you had one, and so we assumed you were bringing it. I go, oh, you know what happens when you assume.
No one brings a harpoon gun.
That's right. It's exactly what I said. I said, what if I had brought it but forgot the harpoon? We would still be in a similar situation. But I do like the 18 inches of water pool solution. You know, you're just out there having a good time. It's a broiling.
It's enough to cool off.
It's a
Right.
broiling
Splash
hot
yourself.
day, and you are ankle deep, shin deep, whatever that is. Yeah, you can splash each other. If you listen on iHeartRadio, on the app from out of state, tell me where. Justin, he's up in Buffalo. Cynthia listens in Surprise, Arizona. Brittany's in Mattawan, Michigan. Jake's down at West Palm Beach.
Hey, Bill, I just pulled into Middleburg Heights, and there's a giant sign that says Wendy's is open late. Does that mean that I can get a breakfast sandwich at, like, say, 1 a.m.? I think that'd be pretty good.
Is that, he wants directions from you there?
No.
Oh.
Breakfast is during breakfast hours only, which they designate 6 to 10 a.m.
See, that's the trick. You have to designate it.
Mm-hmm.
Because a lot of people are having breakfast for dinner, dinner for breakfast.
Right.
I wonder why breakfast for dinner was considerably more popular than dinner for breakfast.
I love
'Cause you
dinner
don't
for
want
breakfast.
that. No.
Give me
You
that dinner
don't?
for
You
breakfast,
want
yeah.
meatballs at
Oh,
9
give me that
a.m.?
lasagna.
I mean, I've
yeah.
never had it.
Little breakfast lasagna.
Even growing up, we would have breakfast for dinner every so often, but that was, buckwheat pancakes and molasses. So no big treat. But dinner for breakfast, that's considerably less popular. I assume just because it's more labor intensive. Nobody wants to get up and start grilling steaks or throwing shish kebabs on the, Whereas breakfast for dinner, what was traditionally breakfast for dinner? It was just people eating cereal, right?
Pancakes.
Yeah,
I like pancakes, waffles, eggs,
Yeah.
French toast.
Oh, you'd make the stuff you'd normally make?
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, well, then maybe it's an equal amount of labor. I don't know. I didn't think people were whipping up pancakes. I thought they were just throwing some waffles in the toaster.
No, I usually, if we did breakfast for dinner, it was like a pretty good breakfast.
Yeah. Alan, sharks are extremely difficult to harpoon. That's why you only really hear about using them with whales. Listen, that's what I tried to tell them, right? But I'm like, I'm not a sea captain. I just have a harpoon, and we had limited space. We were going to be at the shore for a week. We had to pack everything into this car, and I forgot the harpoon. And so, yeah, that was on me. I didn't see any whales out there. And that's, I guess, on them, too, that they didn't know that sharks are hard to harpoon. I didn't know that, if that's true. I wonder why they're difficult to harpoon.
They're too fast.
Too fast.
They're not that big, so you got to be real accurate.
Well, no,
and they're very nimble.
I get the difference in size. I'm just saying that if you can see one and you can lead it a little bit, you might be able to. So the harpooning of the whales is simply because there's more surface area, is what you're saying.
I think so.
Well, anyway, the whole thing felt pretty stupid because I had remembered my yellow slicker. And
City slicker.
it didn't carry the same gravitas when I'm standing out there looking like I know what you did last summer, but I'm harpoonless. So I look like a real putz. And I don't mind telling you, it was a dark spot in an otherwise sunny and exciting vacation. Al and I like chili for breakfast. Well, people go cold pizza. I don't think of that as dinner for breakfast. I mean, I guess it is, but you ate it the night before. It's leftovers. Breakfast for dinner, dinner for breakfast is you specifically make them. You don't just go, hey, I had, maybe you do. What the hell do I know? I also don't like when people say supper. It's a real pet peeve of mine. I know it's etymologically correct, but I don't care for supper. I like dinner. Somebody's like, what time is supper?
3 p.m.
I leave their house if I hear somebody say that. And you know what I do on my way out? I forcibly remove their mailbox if it's mounted to the house, and I throw it in the yard to get my point across. And they don't forget it.
You're a real wild card, man.
So they go, hey, we're going to have dinner. We just got our mailbox affixed back to the house. We were going to opt for a post, but we knew you would just run that over on your way out. Al and I like beer in my Cheerios. Is that a true thing? I mean, people mix things up all the time. People are like, I use orange juice instead of milk in my cereal.
I've never seen anyone actually do it, but hey.
Oh, yeah?
And then people say stuff, but are they actually doing it, or are they just trying to get a reaction?
Well, they got a reaction out of me. Because you know what I did when they talked to me about that? I forcibly removed the mailbox from their house.
Ooh.
Yeah, that's
a federal offense.
I hate to admit it. That's kind of my go-to move. It is a federal offense, and I found that out.
Mm-hmm.
You can get in more trouble than that than you can showing up drunk to teach a room full of second graders. My daughter older daughter was in Colorado last week. She was in Fort Collins and that area. She and some friends are visiting a friend of theirs who goes to Colorado State. And she was sending me photos because they went up to Estes Park, which is where the Stanley Hotel is, which is the Shining Hotel. Gwen and I stayed there a number of years ago because The Shining is like my wife's favorite movie of all time. And so we stayed at the Stanley Hotel. And my daughter was sending me photos. I was like, oh, my God, that's awesome. You got to go in there. And she's like, we didn't go in. We're just on a hike, and it's there and whatever. And I said, well, be careful because the exact spot you are, for some reason, people keep getting stomped by cow elks right there in Estes Park. They had 3 people in 8 days get stomped by these massive animals. So I was just telling her to keep her head on a swivel because I know what's going on out there. She and her friends, they're too busy taking selfies. I said, hey, while you're doing that, be on the lookout for cow elks. She's like, well, what does that look like? I said, well, it's probably big.
Bring a harpoon gun.
Be prepared to forcibly remove a mailbox from somebody's house. So there was an 8-year-old riding her bike who got attacked by a cow elk. There was a 4-year-old. I don't know if they're partial to children or maybe they're just smaller and don't see them. You have to wonder how many animal attacks are because they just don't have very good peripheral vision. And they just happen to stumble across a child. But then, third person was an adult. Wild card. Right in the middle of downtown Estes Park. Cow elk. And you figure if you live there, you know to look around. But none of these people, they weren't provoking these animals. So I was just trying to keep her mindful of what could possibly go on there. It's a double-edged sword being amongst all of that beautiful nature. Some of it will try to kill you. And you don't know if these animals are just there. Maybe they just had a baby. You don't know that. They're just protecting a calf. But you don't know that. That's why, like, if I go home and I'm surveying the front yard before I go inside and I'll see a couple of squirrels or some small wildlife animals, I'll give them a wide berth. Because I don't know if they've just given birth. I don't know what they've got going on. And I don't need some kind of animal jumping up at me. But a cow elk, and if you've never seen one, you can see them from afar when you're out there. They're giant animals. And it's because cows are so big and elk are so big. And so when they mate, that's what you get. And then the bull elk are even bigger. But I just want to make sure that my daughter wasn't getting trampled. Alan, it was just Mailbox Improvement Week, you monster. Oh, it was. That's
yeah.
right.
That's right.
Yeah, I forgot about that.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why.
Of course you did.
Yeah, I kind of put it out of my head. But no. I'm talking about old mailboxes. I'd step aside. I would think better of it had I come in contact with someone's recently improved mailbox. Alan, there's nothing like a Caesar salad for breakfast. And then you go into work. You're cracking the egg. You got the Worcestershire sauce.
Yeah.
Oh man, put some coffee breath on top of that. Man,
You're set up for success.
nobody is even going to approach you at work. That's a great low-key way to keep your coworkers a safe distance. Hey, we're going to go get breakfast around the corner. No, I had coffee and a Caesar salad. I'm fine. I don't need any of that. Breakfast burritos, right? No, listen, I just, as a kid, the only thing I knew that something was really, really common is if even we did it growing up. Because there were so many things we didn't do. That if we did it too, I was like, man, this must be a big deal. So breakfast for dinner, big deal. But the reason I thought that it was people weren't making stuff from scratch is because it always seemed like something where like there wasn't something prepared. So like, just breakfast for dinner. Throw in an Eggo, make some cereal, whatever. Like it was easy. I didn't think people were whipping up full enchiladas and crap.
Enchiladas?
What, breakfast burritos? Don't they have breakfast enchiladas?
No.
What about
I guess if you put an egg on it.
That's what I'm saying.
But like that's not what anyone's talking about when they're talking about breakfast for dinner.
I don't know what they're talking about.
They're
That's my
talking about
question.
like pancakes and
explained it to
eggs
you.
and bacon and toast and regular.
I mean, I've had chilaquiles
traditional.
for breakfast.
I just
That's
Why are
delicious.
you like this?
Huh?
Why are you like this?
You never had? It's on menus, you know. You never had chilaquiles for
But
breakfast?
that's not a dinner item. That is a breakfast item.
Is it?
Yes.
Is it?
I thought it was.
Is it?
I thought that was like a traditional breakfast
Is
item.
it?
If you keep asking, it doesn't change.
Is it?
Okay.
Hey, Nate.
Hey, what's up? Hey, the show.
How are you?
I'm pretty good. You?
Hanging in there. I mean, other than being
All right.
hectored by Mary over what constitutes Mexican breakfast.
All right. Well, I'm not sure where I live. I heard
Oh, boy.
a while back that dinner is around like 6 o'clock, and then supper is actually used to be a extra thing around like 9 o'clock. Like it was like a aristocracy kind of thing. You know, kind of like
Oh,
the hobbits with the
second breakfast.
yeah.
the Hobbits
Yeah.
reading second breakfast?
Yeah.
Wow.
No,
Like
no.
Mary's
What about
second lunch.
Lindsay's?
Mary has
I
second
always have
lunch.
second lunch.
Yeah.
I'm just a hobbit.
All right. Oh yeah, I mean, maybe you're right. I thought. I mean, to sup. I guess I thought that was like people were eating it at 4 in the afternoon because they were going to bed at 7 because they had to get up at 3 to tend the fields or whatever. So, okay, well,
I heard it came from like it's sort of like super dinner or something like that.
super dinner. All right. Well, you're clearly an aristocrat, Nate. So I'll take your word for it.
Super dinner sounds awesome. Now I'm kind of
Nah,
into supper.
I'm far from it.
I didn't know it was super dinner.
Right. Okay. Thank you, Nate. I appreciate it. Super dinner.
It goes through you faster than a speeding bullet.
Yeah.